Good? Ooh. Welcome to the Blood Prison Shakedown. I'm Vic. Thanks for joining us again. Today, special guest. They're all special. All my guests are special. Brian Warner from Evilusions. How's it going, man?
Good, how are you?
I'm hanging in there. Getting close to big events coming up. I know you got a lot going on. We got a lot going on. We'll talk about that.
Working on it.
Gonna be busting balls. Where's my shit?
Yes.
So what's going on, man? How you been?
Block your phone number.
Messenger.
Yes.
All right.
Shit.
Nobody can block there.
Yeah.
So what's going on, man? What are you into these days?
Right now, building a bunch of props for Next Trans World.
Yeah.
Working on escape rooms for somebody.
Somebody special.
Yes.
Yeah. We're really excited for those, man. I've seen your work, and I've played the games. So that's why, when we were starting this, I'm like, yeah, let's just call him up and see what we can do. So how did, I always ask everybody this, where did it start for you? I mean, a lot of people just get into the haunt world because of their love of Halloween, horror movies, you name it. Where did it start for you?
So I actually don't really watch horror movies.
No? You'd be the first guest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Research purposes is pretty much the only reason I watch horror movies.
Yeah.
Didn't do a lot of trick-or-treating or anything when I was little.
No?
I lived too rural.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, if you wanted to go trick-or-treating, Mom had to take you into town so you could walk around the downtown, which was like 3 stores.
Yeah. That's all right.
No, I got into haunted houses. My girlfriend at the time, now my wife, for the last 20 years I've been with her, worked at a haunted house, and she was home from college for a weekend. It's like, hey, let's go hang out with my friends at the haunted house that I used to work at. I'd never worked in one. I never looked at working at one.
Yeah.
A bunch of my friends actually worked there, but nobody ever invited me.
Which one was it?
Nightmare in Painesville.
Okay.
Took me there one night, and it's been 20 years. I haven't left a haunted house since.
There you go. Yeah, it's addicting, man. I mean, I'm the same way. High school, when we grew up a little bit, we got our licenses. Like, we'd go to a haunted house here and there, and they were always fun. But I really didn't get, deep into it until later. But it's like once you realize what's going on, you're like, man, this is awesome. I'm gonna stick here.
It was great because like that first time I went, we were just running water. Like back then, like it was actually somebody's job to take a bucket of water in between groups, make sure all the actors had water.
Yeah.
And that was the thing I did the first few nights. That's how they introduced me to haunting.
You're just taking water to actors.
That's all. They said I was the best damn water girl they ever had.
We'll stick with that.
And then one night, hey, can I act? Can I try this?
Yeah.
Stuck me in a jump box in a completely dark black maze.
There you go.
And I never did it again.
No, that's the only time, huh?
Yes. I was like, all right, don't like this. I want to scare people, but I'm going to do it from behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I feel you.
The next year, I immediately got on the build crew and the planning crew, and then started actually constructing and designing and everything for that. So
did that trigger then your, tech end of things as far as like making animatronics or in the escape room stuff?
Yeah. So like my day job is very mechanical. So when I saw like my first haunted house animatronic, I was like, oh, that makes complete sense. I know what they're doing. Let's build some more. So I started building a bunch out of scrap parts I was scraping together, and because the haunt didn't have a huge budget.
Right.
Like we got like $3,000 to rebuild 8 haunted houses every year.
Oh, wow. We
had like 22 semi-trailers of stuff to set up and tear down every season.
Wow. It's a lot.
Yeah. And it's like, hey, well, here's $3,000. Oh, and you guys got to use the screws you find on the floor.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to eBay and I'm scraping together parts from work and stuff and trying to build animatronics that, I'm going and buying my own compressors to stick in the haunted house just so we can have some animatroniks.
Yep, I've done that too.
It was a lot of fun. I'm like, this is great. I'm spending a bunch of my own money, but I'm having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's where it counts, man, when you're having fun. But sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you got to grab something from home and bring it in, and especially when you're first getting started,
Oh yeah, no, it was great. I liked it. And then.
So how long did you work there at Nightmare in Painesville?
2003 through 2000, the 2006 season was actually the last year we were open. The state of Ohio started kind of trying to enforce sprinkler code and everything a lot more.
Oh yeah.
And none of the buildings on the fairgrounds were sprinkled.
Yeah.
Because they're grandfathered in because it's agricultural, horse stable, stuff like that. And like, well, you guys have to put them in. And the owner, everything I gather is the owner's like, nope, never mind. I'm going to go work on something else. And we just never opened again.
Yeah.
So
that kind of sucks when, I mean, safety is the first and foremost, always.
Absolutely.
You know, before you open any, like we had some people at Creature Core that would come when I worked for Kurtzman over there. Like they came and they wanted us to design a haunted house for them. And we were, of course, yeah. What are you thinking? You know, this, that, and the other. So they come in and they immediately start talking, you know, rooms and designs and all this stuff. And we're like, hold on a minute now. What are we doing in these rooms to make sure guests can get in and out? No, you know, it's always the first thing. But when you say grandfathered in, you know, there would be, you would think there would be certain things that would, you know, in my situation, for instance, you know, I'm in a steel, brick, and stone building. I would love to see this building burn down.
Right.
It can't.
Literally impossible.
Yeah, you know. But we have a sprinkler system here, you know. So you got to do what you got to do. The sets, sure.
Right.
You know, but it's like, you know, you fire suppress, or, you know, you put the fire retardant on all the pieces that you're using and everything. But safety is the most, you know, important thing. And, you know, because you want your guests to keep coming back and you don't want the, you know, people, I ran my hand on a nail or some shit, you know, and then you got, you know, a bad review, and we know how important those are these days. Yeah,
that people want to open haunts, but they don't want to think about infrastructure.
Yeah.
I started infrastructure.
Yeah.
Like, I can't design, I can't do art.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can give you a CAD layout.
Yeah.
I can tell you the exact amount of screws we're going to use when we build this, every 2x4, every bracket, like everything.
Mm-hmm.
I can't draw it, but I always started infrastructure. Like, don't even look at a building unless it's got sprinklers already.
Yes.
We've got enough power. We don't have to be running extension cords everywhere. And, you know, like, that was where I started with, like, when we started building our own haunt later after Nightmare in Painesville.
So what was that one then after the Painesville? You opened your own?
Yes, so that was Forsaken Haunted House.
Gotcha.
In Mentor, Ohio. The owner of the Factory of Terror, I was doing a lot of work for him on and off. And,
John?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he wanted to open a haunt up here. So he sat down with me and my wife, and we're like, absolutely, let's do it. So he did all the finance. He put up all the money.
Mm-hmm.
We did the design and a lot of the groundwork. We did a lot of the construction and building and, you know, everything on site.
Right.
And then ran that for 3 full seasons before another part of the building caught fire and shut us down.
We had to talk about fire, didn't we?
It wasn't us. Our unit didn't burn.
Yeah. Oh, that's too bad. So how many years did you run that one?
So we built it in 2011, ran 11, 12, 13, and then like January of 14 is when the building fire happened.
Oh man,
so
that sucks.
We run a 500,000 square foot building.
That's big.
We had a little corner. We had 30,000 square feet to ourselves.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And then so there was like industrial warehouses. The unit directly next to ours was a plating stripping plant. Mm-hmm. So they would take like old rims, run them down this acid spray line, clean them, and replate them.
Gotcha.
So literally a river of acid caught fire.
Oh, Jesus.
Over the weekend.
Yeah.
And destroyed most of the corner of the building. So
a river of acid.
Yeah, it's literally like a trough of acid running through the whole place, covered in plastic balls so it didn't evaporate.
Yeah.
And that all caught fire. So all of that acid plastic burning filled our entire unit and coated everything.
That sounds like a nightmare scene right there. A river of acid, with, you know.
Yeah, so like when that was actually happening, the fire department like gets my wife, say, hey, can you run in here and make sure nothing's going on? Like, no respirator, no nothing. Yeah. She comes out, she's covered in like toxic, you know, soot all over her face and stuff from this burning acid smoke.
That's not good, man.
But our haunt didn't burn. Our haunt was completely safe. Everything we did was totally correct.
Yeah.
Not our fault.
So then the building is not safe now. So they're like, you got to take it down.
They had to do reconstruction on the building, redo the roofs and everything. So they actually wanted, like, you guys got to take your whole haunted house out for us to come in and do this.
Yeah.
And then we kind of evaluated, like, all right, well, how much money is that going to cost? What's insurance going to cover? And we're like, you know what? We'll just shut it down.
Right.
You know, at that point, the building had gotten purchased. The new owners didn't really want a public venue there.
Sure.
You know, with all the foot traffic of customers and stuff, they wanted to just be a warehouse that they didn't have to worry about.
Sure.
So basically, we had to call it quits and disappoint a lot of actors and
that sucks. Well, I know the feeling because I got to do that every year. I got to tear it down. You know what I mean? And load it all up in trailers. But I mean, you know, different situation here. But that's you know, when you build something up and you run it, you got a few years under your belt. That's, you know, it's a kind of being gut kicked.
Oh yeah.
When you got to shut it down.
We basically lived there for like 3.5 years.
Yeah.
You know, there was nights my wife and other people slept in the haunt because we were trying to build stuff and get open and, you know.
So when you're doing that, you know, when you were running that attraction, for instance, or even Painesville, whatever, what percentage of it are you doing on your own, like as far as making props, building animatronics, as opposed to, you know, going out and buying stuff?
I purposely tried to buy as little as possible.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a vendor. I exhibit at Transworld, but I didn't want anybody coming in and seeing something they saw somewhere else.
Yeah.
Unless I could really not get away with it. Like, we bought a giant snake from Gorgalore.
Mm-hmm.
Or he gave me the head for one, and I built it, and we painted it. We did everything. It was ours, you know, but we didn't have time to sculpt and mold one just for one-off use.
Yeah.
But most of the props we did ourselves. Like, we had life casting sessions at the haunt where we'd life cast a bunch of the actors and then so all the head props in the haunt were our people, not something else you could get somewhere else. And you know, we tried to sculpt and mold and create as many unique things. And I built all the animatronics up until, like, I think we bought one Dark Raven snake the last year, but everything else was in-house with you know, my crew, like me, my wife Diana, my friend Chris Virgilio, who actually did most of the artwork for Evilusions for a long time. We tried to do all of that as much as we possibly could ourselves.
That's cool. Yeah, that's always the thing. When we're buying stuff, you know, it's like, you know, when you see it, it's like, I've seen that at this place and I've seen it, so I don't want that. Yeah. You know, but that's hard to do. And it's, you know, so you try and do as much of that as, I mean, I know we do. Now, it's not as much as what I don't have the manpower, you know what I mean? Because we're constantly to tear down and set up and then build and everything. But it is nice to do that when you can build your own unique props.
As much as possible. And it really depends on how much time you have, what's the skill level that people have, and how much.
And it's nothing new. I mean, a lot of people probably do the same thing, you know, so you're not like breaking any ground by, you know, but that's what makes it cool, because you could go to that one and be like, you know, you'd never seen that. There has been a couple times where I went to, or I would be out here in our lines, just, you know, walking around talking to people, and people were coming out and they were like, yeah, did you see that thing? I saw that in, you know, at the Akron schoolhouse, or, you know what I mean? It's just like, you know.
You don't want to hear that.
Yeah, you don't. Or, cause I worked at Creature Core. So they're like, you know, do you need any more heads? I'm like, yeah, but I already got all. So I've got like duplicates of your heads everywhere, you know, so I'm trying to, you know, cut down on that as well.
Try to diversify the deadness, you know?
Yeah. So that's really cool, man, because when you build your own stuff, you stand out a little bit more, and you can, you know, be that unique, that attraction that adds the uniqueness, and that can be, you know, something different and a breath of fresh air for the hardcore, you know, haunt goers. So then how did you get into the escape room end of things?
So that was, I guess, kind of by accident. We fell into it. Started actually, so most Evilusions from like 2006 until 2015 was just props. We're just doing haunt props. And then it was actually John Eslich again. He wanted to add some escape rooms at Factory of Terror.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, can you do this? I'm like, I'm sure I can figure it out.
Yeah.
There's not much I can't figure out if I give me enough time. So I designed like 4 escape rooms for him. His crew did most of the set work. I did the tech props and the game flow and stuff. And he ran those for a while. And then I just started posting pictures and stuff of some of the stuff I was making.
Right.
And there weren't a lot of escape room vendors in the country yet.
Yeah.
There was a bunch still, because all escape rooms kind of started like in Europe and, so there were vendors in Russia, there were vendors in Poland, but there really wasn't anything here yet. So I just happened to start at just the right time that we got really popular really fast.
Yeah.
And a lot of people popped up, but then they hadn't been in business long enough to stay in business. So you had a lot of escape room vendors pop up for a couple of years and then disappear and then come back, or new ones pop up. I'm stubborn enough that I'm like, I have to keep going no matter what.
Yeah.
So just that John basically started it, and then we started doing a little bit of turnkey installation. Someone asked us to design a whole haunt or a whole escape room and go install it. So that was like, all right, well, I guess we do this now.
Right.
And went from me and one full-time employee, which was Chris, to, we got 8 or 9 people working here now. Holy crap.
Yeah.
This is nuts. I got install crews in New Jersey. There's another crew in New York right now. Oh, someone has got to go to Michigan. And then it turned into actually too much eventually.
Yeah, but that's, it's better that than not enough, I guess.
Yeah.
So then, where did the name come from?
Evilusions?
Yeah.
Totally my wife.
Yeah?
Back in 2005, when I kind of knew that Nightmare in Painesville was going to die, it's like, hey, my buddy Chris was also there. Hey, we could do this. Why don't we start a company and sell props? Okay. Hey, wife, we need a name. And she came up with that in, I think, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
She just started writing down a bunch of words and, hey, this combination looks cool. I'm like, all right, I own the website. Trademark. Okay. All right. It's all mine now.
You got to do all that.
Yeah.
That's the worst. I've talked about that before, of how hard it is, especially now in Ohio, especially, or even all over, just naming a haunted attraction, because, there's just you see one, you're like, oh, that's a cool name. Oh, that's a cool name. Do you try to be unique, or do you keep it simple? You know what I mean? I've never been crazy about ours, Blood Prison.
Right.
But I'm like, dude, it's easy to find. It's easy to spell.
Right.
That's kind of how I was talked into it. So I'm like, all right. And nobody's ever come to me and was like, that's a stupid name.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, it must work.
It's a prison, and you've got a descriptive haunted house type word in front of it. Okay.
Plus there's I know there's one called Blood Manor in New York. And there's another one. I can't think of it at the moment, but it's funny though, because when we were doing the trademarking, trying to get all that stuff, there is a Blood Prison, it's like an anime, a Japanese anime movie called Blood Prison.
Oops.
But we were able to, get everything.
Different industries, not to be confused if they still let it go through.
Yeah, so that was kind of funny. I've never actually watched it. I'm kind of afraid to. But you never know.
We ran into something when we were trying to come up with a name for Forsaken.
Yeah.
We came up with one name earlier, and we're like, all right, cool, let's do that. We bought the website, we posted Facebook pages and stuff, and then someone comes to us and goes, hey, I actually own the trademark on that name. We're not open, there's nothing published or anything, but I actually own the trademark, so you guys can't use that. And we hadn't done a trademark search. We just, no businesses were named that. You know, we couldn't find anything on the internet that was named that, so we were going to go with that. And then we had to start another name search, and all right, before we publish anything, let's get a trademark attorney to actually make sure we can use this one. And then we were able to. So
we did the first year over here. The first year was 2016. That's when I still worked for Robert Kurtzman, and he actually ran the haunt that year. Well, I mean, I ran it, but it was his contract. And we sat there, and I can't remember what we were going to call it. But we loved it. We're like, yes, this is a cool name. Well, there was a haunt in Texas called that, almost exactly. So we're like, shit, can't use it. Okay, so then he decided he wanted, because he's a movie guy, so he knows a lot of people in the movie industry. So he's reaching out to some friends, like, hey, we're trying to name this haunted attraction, and somebody came up with Paranormal Penitentiary, and I was like, no, dude, it's too long, too many syllables. Who's gonna search that?
There's a lot of people can't spell that either.
I can spell penitentiary now because of that year, because I was on the marketing part of it. But it was like, nah, I don't like it. But he loved it, and one of his writer friends in LA, loved it, and he's like, it's paranormal. I'm like, yeah, but people are gonna think ghost hunting.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of that, so that's why when I took over, it was just like, yeah, let's call it something else.
I would think you'd want to differentiate because there's already so many ghost hunt stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You don't really want to, you want to make sure that there's a clear distinction between what the event is that they're coming to do.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, it's a haunted house. I thought we were going to get to hunt ghosts all day,
I still get that. I still get it. You know what I mean? Like almost every year someone will be like, I thought we were ghost hunting. I'm just like, yeah. I mean, if
Blood Prison says that.
Yeah. It's like, if you would have been if you bought tickets, you should have known this is not a ghost hunt, but people always ask, they always want to because it's haunting. Haunted house, paranormal haunts, all that good stuff. But you can't escape that here, I think. So, it is what it is. But so what would be? I mean, I don't know how many escape rooms you've done, but like, what was probably your favorite escape room you ever built?
Ever built?
Yeah.
Probably two different ones for two reasons.
Yeah.
One. This place in New Jersey, we built a kids themed one. It was actually specifically for like 10-year-olds' birthday parties.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was the complete opposite of what we're used to doing. Like everything we do is, we're haunt builders. So it was dirty, dark, grungy, scary.
Mm-hmm.
This was completely clean, bright colors. Everything is like reflective and happy. And
yeah,
it was just really cool to change gears for a few minutes.
Sure.
And then, actually, I really like, I know you played the two down at the Akron Schoolhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my other two favorites.
Oh, those were fun.
So the Cell Block E, which is the jail themed one, which is probably the most involved design I did.
Yeah.
And then the only 2-story kind of escape room we built. So we actually did a 2-story set. For
Oh yeah. That's cool.
Didn't replicate that again.
Yeah.
And then obviously we did the Spellbound room there.
Yes.
Which was not my design. John actually bought that design from somebody else.
Oh.
Which was Davey and them down at Rise Haunted House.
Oh yeah, in Louisiana?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we went there and we played their games in 2016. Because Transworld did an escape room tour down there.
Okay.
And they were the best escape rooms we'd ever played in our life.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Like, I don't know, it was just so fun. The way they designed them. And so they started actually licensing out the one game. John got it and said, here, I want you guys to build it. So we did. And we kind of added a bit to it and made, some of it our own a little bit. But it's a really, really cool game.
It is,
and I think it's fun when I get to take people to go play it.
Yeah.
Because for a while there, I was actually using the Akron Schoolhouse as my showroom. Like, oh, you guys want to buy an escape room? Let's take a 40-minute drive, and I'll show you what we can do.
Sure.
And it got me business.
Yeah,
like, a lot
absolutely.
of people are like, oh no, this is great. Absolutely, let's do this.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's kind of same thing for us when we went and checked it out. I mean, I'd been to other escape rooms, but I was like, no, you got. And then when we were talking about putting them in here, I was like, let's go up. I called John. John always lets us come up and just do our own thing. You know what I mean? Which is great, because he's got the axe throwing and he's got a full bar. You know what I mean? So we go up and we have a good time, and it was kind of the way that got us. She's like, yeah, this is cool. Let's do that. Yeah, you mentioned Rise Haunted House. That's actually a really good haunt. We checked that out one time at a convention. It's just funny because I've always kind of pumped them up. It's like, dude, the middle of Louisiana, right off the highway in this know-nothing town, there's this really killer haunted attractions. And now I didn't get to check out their escape rooms.
See, I'm the opposite. I got to play their escape rooms. I never got to see the haunted house.
Yeah, that was just, the haunt was like, you know, and it's, you know, I'm not shitting on my actors or anything, because I tell my zone leaders, my actors, I'm like, dude, we got to go down there. Their actors are amazing. Like, you know, and I even talked to, what's the owner's name? Davey. Yeah. I always think Dwayne, who owns that 13th gate. Yeah. But yeah, I talked to him and I was just like, dude, he's like, what do you do to train your actors? And he was like, come down and I'll, you know, it's like, all right, sweet. So I plan on doing that sometime, because they were just awesome. They were great. It was one of my favorite haunts I've ever been to.
I talked to them a bunch, because when we were doing the escape room, I'm like asking them for information.
Yeah.
They're just awesome people.
Yeah. Sweet guy.
Everybody that I talked to there is just great to talk to. Now it's like, you know, it's been like 7 years and we still like, hey, how's it going at Trans World every year? Like, hey, you know.
He came to our booth at Creature Core and bought a drop window thing that we did, and that's kind of when I really started, because he was wearing his Rise jacket, and I asked him if he worked there. He's like, well, I own it, and I was like, oh. I introduced myself, great guy, and he was like, he's like, whenever you want to come down, man, just give me a call. I was like, all right, sweet, you know. So I'd love to go check that out again, but when we were there, they had like, looked like the escape rooms were like up those steps and on that top floor over there, were the 2 floors of them, or.
So when I went, they were almost in their own building.
Yeah, it was kind of off, like if you're standing is over here on the right. Yeah. And they were advertising like 5-minute escape rooms or 10-minute escape rooms. I can't remember. So when did that, because like when we first went to escape rooms, it was always an hour.
Yeah.
You know, so how did the 5-minute and 10-minute escape rooms, how did it evolve to that?
So the first place I ever remember seeing a 5-minute escape room advertised was actually in Columbus. And I don't know why my mind is blanking right now. Mm-hmm. It was one of the owner of the haunt were the co-creators of MHC. I don't know why my mind won't. It's the building that Nick and Jess did.
Scaratorium.
Yes.
That's what it was called before Nick. Yeah.
That was
before 13th floor got it.
Yeah. So Scaratorium was the first place I remember seeing a 5-minute escape. It was something like they had a pizza sponsor. Yeah. And if you got out in the 5 minutes, you got a free pizza or something like that.
That's cool. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's a really cool idea. And then more haunts started asking me about 5-minute escape rooms or 10-minute or whatever. So I designed a few of them. We started installing those too. Like Brighton Asylum out in New Jersey. Mm-hmm. We did 2 60-minute and 2 5-10-minute ones.
Right.
The 5 and 10-minute ones, I usually try to set them up so like the customer can pick. Do I run it as a 5-minute, a 10-minute, or a 15-minute today, depending on my people load?
Yeah.
So we did like 2 of those and then 2 60-minutes. And then I did like 4 5-minute for Tim Bunch. Mm-hmm. Haunted Catacombs and something I can't remember the rest of the name.
I would just call them Haunted Catacombs.
Yeah. So we did like 4 5-minute games there, and then I built him a ton of stuff for his 60-minute rooms also.
Yeah.
But like he did it perfect. He had the 5-minute rooms set up in the queue line.
Oh, cool.
So like
that's cool.
You're in the queue line going, all right, I'm kind of bored after an hour. Hey, do you want to play this game? After you get done, you get right back where you were.
That's interesting. Yeah.
And then, you go a little bit longer. Hey, we got another one. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's jump into this one too. Oh, we don't lose our place in line, but we're breaking up our wait.
Yeah.
And then other people started like, if you had an outside queue, they'd set one up like halfway through the outdoor queue.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we can do this 5-minute escape room just to break up our wait so that we're not 3 hours in line with nothing else.
Right.
And just turned into a really great idea. And then we started selling like kits of 5-minute escape rooms. Like here, just if you got a room the size of this office, you can put in a 6-person 5-minute escape room, and charge $5 a head real quick.
Yeah.
And, you're both providing something to entertain them while they're waiting.
Sure.
And you're making a bunch of side money.
Right. And it really took off.
Yeah.
Because everybody started, doing them and, getting them at the haunted attractions. That's where you see a lot of it, escape room wise. Because like I think they still have like, I know there's one in Cleveland that some friends of mine went to recently that's just an escape room and it's like an hour long.
Yeah.
But most of them are attached to, the haunted houses, which, is kind of cool. When you're at that event, there's just more to do.
It's a good symbiotic relationship.
Yeah.
Like when I had my haunted house, I wish there was escape rooms because we could have paid the rent all year just by running the escape rooms.
Yeah.
And then the haunt was bonus. But like back then there weren't escape rooms. Nobody was doing axe throwing. People weren't really doing the extra business. Like it feels like a lot of haunts are going towards an FEC feel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, we've got all this other stuff. We also have the haunted house, but we do all this other stuff all year to keep the doors open.
Right. Yeah. Which is nice.
Yeah.
You know.
But it makes sense. Like, the days of we're a haunted house and that's all we are, we don't even have concessions or nothing. It's kind of, people want to go somewhere where they're going to be entertained for the whole night now.
Yeah.
So there's other things to do at the same time. And
sure.
That's why people are adding escape rooms, 5-minute, 10-minute escape rooms to, just to have more stuff to do on site.
And stuff like that is great because you're adding to your income a little bit. You're making some more money. And you're not keeping people here, a 5-minute escape or even a 10-minute escape room. You're not still clogging your parking up.
Right.
Because everybody's on, people are building big midways. And, I did one with the All Hallows Eve people. And the way they explained their attraction, I'm like, dude, that is killer. It was James and Michaela came up.
Oh, okay.
And really, really great people. They actually made this for me.
Nice.
I wanted to give them a shout out for that because it's awesome. They make they make a lot of their own props and they vend at Transworld under All Hallows Eve. Great people, but they were explaining there how they do it. And I'm like, that's really cool, because people don't just come for the haunted house. There's a ton of other things going on. And everything is kind of going that way as far as like you said, you're not just coming here to go through the haunted house. You're coming here to play the escape rooms, to see a DJ or a band maybe, or, a lot of people have like, I know John's doing
he's got his bar crawls.
He's got the bar. Yeah. I mean, that is really cool, So it's cool to see it, this world expanding that way because it's been expanding. Even just like I've told, a lot of people here where it's like Halloween has invaded everywhere.
Yeah.
There's Christmas attractions. We run a Christmas show. People do the St. Valentine's Day shows.
Let's just take over all the holidays.
I'm telling you, it's just like, Easter and St. Patrick's Day.
All the holidays are ours now.
Yeah, we're just invading and taking everything and making it right.
Yes.
Especially the Christmas. But it's funny, though, because the Christmas show we do here, we can't do the big cell blocks because we got to tear it down every year. So we just do it, the big section upstairs, solitary, and then the basement. Maybe you go through the cell block a little bit, but it's a totally different vibe from when your Christmas crowds roll in because it's Halloween people, but it's just a totally different vibe.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's funny how that changes, because at Halloween, you know how it is. It gets wild. You know what I mean? I
feel like you'd get the more dedicated crowd on the other holidays.
Yeah.
Like the haunters or the serious Halloween enthusiasts or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Whereas, during October, you're getting the casual people, the people that are just going out for something to do for a date in October.
Right.
Whereas
after the high school football games.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas like you're open for Christmas, you're probably not getting those random casual people. You're getting the people that they'll go to any haunted event.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, when it is, like they want to go to it.
It's so much fun. We went up to Eloise recently for Midwest, the haunt tour thing. And it's so fun to go somewhere and see them when you can't, during October, you know what I mean? When you're kind of in season, which you can because we're only open Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. So last year we got up to Nightmare Cleveland because it was, they're new. And I know Rick and Vaughn and, reached out to them and said, hey, we're going to come up, can't wait to see you guys and everything. And man, we had a great time just to be able to go on a Thursday in October, because we're not open on those days. Yeah, you just don't get to do that. So it's fun. That's why I love the off-season events. And I know Nick and Jess at Fear in Columbus do that Nightmare Combat thing. We're going back to that. I got some of my crew bought tickets for them, said, hey, you guys get to go down. And then I went down the last time and did it. And it was like, this is a lot of fun. So it's just cool seeing everything expanding, escape rooms, laser tag, you name it. It's all getting incorporated to the haunted house feel. And it's like, it's awesome. Yeah. You know what I mean? It makes what we're doing more fun. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So who are you working with currently? I know you're doing stuff with us.
Yeah.
But are you doing anything like haunted wise, or are you still just focusing on escape rooms?
Well, I'm trying to get out of escape rooms
Really? Don't do it yet.
No. Right now, you're my only escape room customer.
Oh, okay.
So 3 years ago, I scaled back a lot. My day job keeps me really busy. I couldn't put as much effort into the company as I needed to.
Right.
So a lot of my guys went and formed their own company, doing it full time.
Yeah.
So now Evilusions is basically just me.
Oh, okay.
In the part time. And I enjoy escape rooms, but I don't have the ability to do the scenic design or the art part of it.
Right.
So I'm concentrating more on my CAD design work. The stuff that I'm really good at is doing the CAD designs and other designs and the electrical portion and all the electronics and control systems and audio and all that, which is basically what our arrangement is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's kind of ideal for me.
That's cool.
And then I'm trying to do more haunted house work, because I miss building animatronics as much.
Mm-hmm.
That's my favorite thing to do. So I want to build more animatronics and more props. I've taken a few years off of going to vending at Trans World.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go back next year with a booth and actually take stuff to sell again. And
cool.
So I'm kind of concentrating on building all that stuff, at least so I got a full booth of product to bring.
Yeah.
This year, the coming year will be kind of a concept booth. That's a running joke.
Yeah.
I know you've had Katie Lane on here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So next Trans World, my booth is literally just versions of her. So the last year we've been live casting her nonstop. Yeah,
I've seen on some of your on your social media posts of Katie's head and Katie just doing one of these, So
it started as a joke, but now it's actually going to happen.
Yeah,
and it's literally just going to be like a bunch of versions of her: autopsy version, hanging in the freezer version, decapitated head version. So we've been doing a bunch of casting and molding and everything to do that. Just I thought it'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
So
that'll be cool.
It's going to be funny. A lot of people are going to buy her just because it's her.
Yeah.
So
right, there you go.
And actually, after watching your last interview, it reminded me I now have to do a vomit eating version.
Oh God. Dude, that part, it was like right at the end too. When she started talking about that, that just like turned that whole thing. I was like, wait a minute, you did what?
Yeah.
So, I'm still like,
So I definitely got
over that.
I'm gonna turn. There's gonna be a prop in there just probably of that. So
oof.
Just it's hilarious.
Yeah. No, that's takes a special person to do that.
If you can't have fun with everything, then what's the point of doing it?
Oh man, I'm trying, man. I tried to I was just like, what?
Yeah.
We went to this sideshow thing, and this is one of my actors did this, one of my zone leaders actually. We in 2019 we had Hell's a Poppin' sideshow circus.
Okay.
They came up and stayed here the whole season. They put a giant tent up in our west circle over here, and they would do sideshow performances in this tent. And it was great. It was great having them here. They were excellent people, very easy to work with. Well, they also tour. So they went on tour, and they'll jump on with bands. Like they toured with In This Moment, Mushroom Head. They're actually getting ready to do a Mushroom Head tour. They were on, I think, the Metal Mayhem tour. So they tour all over. And they were doing their own tour, and they hit this place in Columbus called King of Clubs, I think. And they were there, so we bought tickets, and I messaged the guy, Bryce. I was like, hey, we're coming down. And we got to, sit around and bullshit with him for a while. But they didn't do this at the show here, but at that show, they had this guy there, and they took this tube, and they stuck it down his throat, and there was this big, container. I can't remember what they called it. And it was that was attached to the tube, and they filled it with like beer and ketchup and Pepto-Bismol. It was just all this shit, and it was just like, oh my God. And they he put that tube down his mouth, and they dumped all that shit in there, and it went down into his stomach. And they were like, well, what goes down's got to come back out.
Oh God.
So they sucked all that stuff out, and they had pulled like 3 people up on stage. One of them was one of my zone leaders, Megan. and they pulled them up on stage and they sucked all that out and they poured them into cups and they drank it. And we're sitting there just like, it was me and my other zone leader, George, Brian Dembski, and the warden's widow, Andrea. She was there with us, and we were all down there for that. And we're all just horrified watching Megan just go. Oh, it was so nasty.
Horrible.
It was just, and that reminded me of when Katie said that she was eating vomit. I was just like, oh, Jesus. And once the show was over, we were hanging out, and Megan walked up, and I go, what the hell were you thinking? She started laughing. I go, oh, I'm like, I don't even want to know. I said, was it bad? She goes, it was warm, and it was kind of chunky. I was like,
oh, God.
I was like, shut up. Don't say another word. She's laughing. I'm like, I don't want to hear it. Because I know you can handle it or you wouldn't have went up there. But I was just like, oh, dude, it's turning my stomach now just talking about it.
I couldn't even watch it.
No, it was bad. It was so bad. And she still talks about it once in a while. And then one of my other zone leaders, like when she's like, just stop. That's disgusting. I don't want to hear about it. Because she didn't want to. I'm like, I'm the same way. But that was fun. So yeah, when Katie brought that up, that was definitely a twist.
Awful.
A twist to the show. So speaking of life casting, you're also doing that for the widow, for us.
Yes.
So how did you get into that? Now, is that something you've always done too, or did that you pick that up just working?
Yeah, kind of just picked it up. So like, I have no formal training in any of the like life casting, art, anything.
Yeah.
That's all been, hey, let's buy some supplies and try it.
And try it out. Yeah.
Oh, that didn't work. Buy more supplies.
Yeah.
I have spent more money on trial and error than if I'd actually gone to school, probably.
Right.
But it's never been my full-time job.
Yeah.
So the life casting, we started doing that back when we had Forsaken.
Mm-hmm.
So like 12 years ago. It's just like, hey, let's try this. I actually had a buddy come over from Pittsburgh who actually taught at some of the special effects schools.
Oh, okay.
So he came over, I bought all the materials, and we kind of went over it. Like, I had a rough idea already, and we did 5 head casts in 2 days, which later everyone said was kind of insane, but we just knocked them out really fast. And so that was like the start of, oh, this is a lot of fun. This is cool to do. Hey, now we've got our own cool looking props that nobody else has.
Right.
Everything we had sold before that was sculpted.
Yeah.
So Chris would sculpt all of our monsters and our zombies and everything else.
Sure.
But we wanted to get into more of the realistic stuff. So just tried it. Hey, we can do it. So, and then I've been doing it ever since then.
Yeah.
And then I always bring in help of other experienced people when I need to do a project. Like with Andrea, I had a couple other people come in.
Right.
To help with it, but
yeah, she enjoyed it. She said it was, very professional. You guys did a really good job. I can't wait to see it. You know what I mean? I know you guys got to do. Are you still got to do the open mouth part?
Yes, but yeah. I'm going to experiment with one other process with that before I do an actual life cast of that.
Oh, gotcha.
So I may have it worked out with doing a 3D scan.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then printing it. So I think I have everything worked out on that, because the process of life casting and open mouth is difficult. Mm-hmm. And although I'm sure we could do it, it's not fun for the person being cast.
Probably not, no.
So I'm going to try, like, now that we have her base head in clay and everything ready to go, I'm going to try just doing a 3D scan and be able to print that and then mold that, cast that in clay, and then put them together.
Yeah.
So you have the normal head, then we take the base of that and then add in the open mouth portion of it, and then you'd have, then we can kind of do whatever we want. But
yeah.
I feel bad when I life cast somebody.
Yeah. Because
I'm sorry I'm doing this to you. I didn't mean for you to have to sit here for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Most of them don't take that long anymore, but.
Well, I mean, it's, we would do them all the time over there, and some people were fine. Other people just can't do it. They think they were going to be able to do it. Especially, it's different if, like, I never had my head done, but, like, working over there, I think I had my ear, and we were doing this movie, and someone gets their ear severed off, and they're like, let's do cast fix ear. You're like, oh, okay. So they, like, did my ear. I think they did my hand one time, or, like, my arm, like, right here. But I've never, like, went under. But I've seen people, like, yeah, no, I'll be fine. And then they get when it all starts going and they start rapping, they're just like, and they start moving. You're like, dude, don't do that. and then they just can't hack it and they start tearing everything off.
I haven't had anybody tear it off yet, but one of the ones we did way back then, like I said, one guy fell asleep during it.
Yeah.
A couple people were totally fine. And then like the last one, she didn't tell us she was claustrophobic. So she started freaking out right at the end. We're like, we're almost done. We're about to take it off. We swear, please.
Yeah.
One more second. Her husband was there like, it's okay. We're going to get out of this. Like,
Yeah.
so I try to really reiterate before we start, like, are you sure you're not claustrophobic?
What is funny, we had this guy one time and we were doing, I mean, it's everything, head to toe, full body cast. And they told him, shave all this off, get it off. Okay, fine. We, no problem. Comes in that day, he didn't shave.
Oh, geez.
And, they were like, because I don't do all that stuff, but I would help out with, certain things. And they were like, dude, do you want to go shave? Do you want to do this? Nah, dude, I'm fine. And I'm sitting there just like, oh my God. And they're like, dude, you don't understand. You're going to get your body waxed. Oh, no, it's fine. They're like, okay. So they just lather him in Vaseline, just trying to, make it as seamless.
Right.
No, dude, I'd never seen a grown man cry like that. He's just like, ah. He's just screaming because just all of his chest hair's getting ripped out. And it's just like, told you. I hate being right, as my buddy says all the time. I hate being right.
There's luckily been a lot of advances in the materials in the last decade.
Yeah.
So depending on what material you use, you actually could get away with it now. And
that'd be nice.
It would actually pull right out.
Oh, that's good.
You still got to be careful with it, but there's a lot, like the silicones are self-releasing now, and the hair comes out mostly. Like we could, you theoretically you could do someone's full beard, and it just comes off.
Yeah.
But probably more than a decade ago, you're waxing everybody.
Oh yeah.
Like everything that's there is coming out.
I'd be like, what? No way. I just wouldn't do it. I don't know if I could do it. Like if there's like, hey, we're gonna mold your head, I'd be like,
why don't you come up to my shop?
No.
We'll life cast your head.
No. I don't know if I could sit there that long. I'd probably be like that.
Yeah.
Be like the false sleep guy, or I'd just be like total opposite and be like, all right, I can't do this. You know what I mean?
We've got it down to about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So hour and a half, you're usually in and out. So
I've seen people like just do the half or just the face.
Yeah.
And they're cool with that, but like being completely encapsulated. Plus, you need a lot of material for this giant head of mine. I'm telling you what.
Well, that's why you'd be perfect.
Yeah, right. They wanted to do that at the shop. They're like, well, let's do Vic's head, make a core out of it. So that way our mask can be bigger. Because, that's the one thing when you're selling masks is like, you're good. Okay. Right. A guy like you, perfect. No problem. But a guy like me.
Trying to get one on is a little harder.
It's a process, So we've been talking about doing that, which, hasn't happened yet. But I don't know. I wouldn't be totally against it. But I am excited to see Andrews. We got some really cool plans, to do some widow stuff with her. So that's going to be cool. So as far as haunted house, you're trying to get out of the escape room stuff, yeah?
Yeah.
So are you just going to basically then focus on like tech work for haunts? Or are you going to try and work at a haunt or just do the vending stuff?
Mostly just the vending.
Yeah.
It's hard for me with my day job schedule to really.
Oh, I keep forgetting you have that. Yeah.
Get out to like I had haunts reach out to me last year, the year before, like, hey, we lost our tech guy. Could you like come in for a week and like refresh everything? And it's just the travel time is really hard to get in, to actually go do it.
Yeah.
I was even supposed to do a bunch of work down at factory, and I get called into work almost every day that I'm supposed to be off.
Yeah.
So just trying to make that hour trip down and get some work done is nearly impossible.
Yeah, it's rough.
So.
Yeah, working that in a day job's got to be a little bit hectic, I would think.
I like my day job though, so I'm not complaining. I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's a part of it too. So like, would you ever quit your day job and do haunt full time if you had the work, or would you be like, nah, I like my day job?
I tried it for about 9 months.
Yeah.
Back in 2017, 2018, we had a lot of escape room work. I had a bunch of employees, and my bosses at the time were like, yeah, go try it. Go ahead. You know, your job will be here.
Oh, there you go.
Probably.
Oh, well, okay.
So I actually took off time from my day job. I went and tried to do Evilusions full time, but I found it's really, really difficult to do that without having, you know, health insurance and 401k. And that stuff is really expensive.
Yeah.
It was actually the health insurance that killed me because, you know, I was used to paying $400 or $500 a month for full coverage for the whole family.
Right.
And it turned into, it's like $3,000 a month. And like, I can't afford that.
Right.
So then it turns into, all right, we don't have any health insurance.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I can't do that. I gotta go back. So I tried it for a little while and then I went back to my day job and
sure.
I'm just more comfortable with having that parachute, you know, because I'm in an industry that I don't have to worry about anything happening to.
Yeah.
Even when there's recessions and things. So
yeah,
that's
did COVID mess with you guys at all? I mean, it messed with everybody, but like,
no, not really.
No.
So like my day job is, we actually build the heavy filling equipment for like Pepsi, Coke, and Dr. Pepper, like production plants.
Yeah.
So like it's the machine that takes the pop and actually puts it in the can or puts it in the bottle.
Oh, okay.
So everybody being home from work, they're still drinking pop and beer and everything else and water and
sure.
So we saw no slowdown. You know, Great Recession in 2008. No, we didn't slow down.
Oh yeah.
I've never had an issue.
So speaking of 2008, you dabbled a little bit in the movie world that year.
Oh yeah.
That's where we first met.
Yes.
When you came to Creature Core. So, well, I think back then it wasn't called Creature Core back
P13
then. P13, yeah. Why don't you tell us about that? Because I remember coming to your shop, and I remember you coming down, but that's it. I used to drink a lot, so my memory's not as good. Was it the Snake movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. What'd you do for that?
It started as Noggin and then turned into
Hiss.
like
Najin or some shit like that.
And then eventually I think it went out as Hiss.
It went out as Hiss, yeah.
So yeah, that was kind of a funny story because we had our first commercial space at that point.
Yeah.
And Al Tuskey's was actually...
Oh, yeah. Big Al.
He doesn't live far from me. He's like a half hour from me.
Okay.
And he was looking for some local work at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I found he responded to a Craigslist ad of mine.
Craigslist.
And
haven't heard that one in a while.
He ended up coming over to the shop and making some molds with us and teaching us some stuff. And then when that job came back, he went back down to P13. And he's like, hey, I just worked with these guys. Like, we need some mechanical stuff done. Let's bring them in.
Yeah.
And so I started doing... I'd never done cable animatronics before. I'd never done movie animatronic stuff at all.
Right.
So it kind of turned into a giant learning experience of Al giving me information, Robert Kurtzman giving me some information. You know, here's pictures of things that have been done in the past. We need you to make this stuff. So I made a bunch of really big cable controllers. I made the cable internal structure for like one of the big snakes. The one that actually got mounted on like a big gib to go around and work out.
Now, is that the one that the face would move like back and forth? Was that you guys?
No, that was whoever was internal at the time.
Oh, that was John then. Okay.
Yes, John did that one, which he did really good work on the mechanics of it. Cause I'm the kind of I'll look at somebody's mechanics, man, that's really nice. I like that.
Yeah,
that's pretty. So he did that one, and then we did a couple other pieces. We did a couple smaller pieces, which I can't remember what they actually did at this point, but it was a lot of cable control discs and, and controllers and stuff. So I've still got pieces in my shop from it.
Really?
I've still got I think we still have one of the resin cores, and we still have one of the foam latex pulls from the big snake.
Oh yeah,
because they gave it to us to like test fit on what we're doing. And that
was a fun show to work on.
Yeah, so that was fun. 15 years later, we still got it sitting in a container up in the shop.
I just it was funny because I've still got some of the suits that because I basically bought everything from Robert Kurtzman when I started here because it was like, well, let me just take your stuff because he's not doing haunts no more, and I got a lot of the costumes, and we ran because we had all the molds, so we ran like. We had an Egyptian scene in our haunt over in Crestline. So we ran like the big cobra snake And I had one of those, which I never really used over here. I mean, 1 or 2 years I used it. But I had one of those, and there's still a few things that we got from that movie because, just the snakes. But I ended up selling the snake to Ben Armstrong. Bought it. I put it on I was like, hey, I got this for sale. And he was just like, he messages, hey, will you ship that? I was like, of course, and I ended up shipping that to him. And I was trying to keep the shipping down as much as I could because he also ordered this mummy. I had this mummy body that we used in that scene as well. And he had bought that as in addition to the snake. And when I shipped it, we just put it in a body bag and just wrapped it. So he posted on there. He got the stuff, and then he posted something like, he said, when haunt vendors try to get us arrested, because it was just this body bag. It was so funny because when I walked into the shipping place with it, they're like, yeah, we'll ship it. I was like, this is gonna be funny. I was like, well, that's kind of the idea, So when he got it, he posted that picture, and it was pretty funny.
I'll have to try that.
Yeah.
Might be cheaper than shipping in cardboard boxes.
Well, we would do that. We worked on this show called Longmire. I don't know if you ever saw that show.
I heard of it.
Well, we would send them bodies and animal bodies and stuff like that, like, regular cadavers, and then just, dead deer, sheep, stuff like that. That's how we would ship it to them, because we could shrink wrap it, and it wouldn't take up as much room, and it would cost a little bit less. It would save production money. So I was like, well, we're sending this body. Let's just do it that way. And that's kind of what happened. It was pretty funny, actually, when he posted that. I was like, oh, look nice. What we did. All right, man. So, as far as your favorite haunted attraction, that's something I always ask everybody as well. I'm sure you've been to many. Which one have you been to that's really kind of man, this one was awesome. I would love to do this one.
I guess that's going to depend on the category.
Yeah.
So 13th Gate wins on set design.
Yeah. I've never been there, but I've heard nothing but good.
Yeah, their set design, the scale of it is just mind-blowing.
Yeah.
It's the first haunt I walked in. Oh, there's a submarine in here.
That's amazing.
In a lake.
Yeah. That's cool.
So as the scale of just that is crazy. I'd like to say who I like best for acting, but I can't think of it right now. If I say something out loud that's wrong, I'm going to insult some people. So.
Oh, well, I'm just, I'm asking your opinion. I'm not trying to say, so-and-so is better than,
And Factory of Terror is always great because just their event is so huge.
It's big, yeah.
And he's got so many props and so many cool stuff.
Weren't they the Guinness record for longest haunt at one point?
Yeah.
I think I remember hearing that, or maybe even seeing it.
It was 3 times.
Yeah.
Erebus was for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cutting Edge took it. And then John came in and just blew him out of the water.
Yeah.
And then Cutting Edge took it again, and then John took it again, and they were back and forth for a couple years because there's always an attendance boost with it. It's a marketing thing.
Sure.
Hey,
yeah.
We're a Guinness World Record this year, and you get a surge of customers.
Right.
But
because everybody wants to see it. Yeah.
At a point, it's it becomes ridiculous. We don't need it again. So.
Yeah. Well, at the Factory of Terror, the first time I went, it was noticeably dude, we were in there for a while.
Oh yeah.
And that's good.
It's a 1.25 miles physically walking.
Yeah.
And then I haven't been there in a really long time. Actually, I haven't been there in a new location at all, but Netherworld is just
right. Yes.
Them for their crowd control. I've never seen anybody put through so many people so fast, but still give a good show.
Yeah.
Because they designed for it.
Mm-hmm.
They open the door and just go.
Yeah.
It is a when we walked through, it was just a straight conga line the entire time.
Wow.
But the way that they set up their scares, noticeably each room had 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, there's 20 people standing in this room at the moment, but that group got hit with that one. This group got hit with this one. This group,
Sure.
And then as it's filing through, they're resetting and, all coming out again. So they could literally just run tons and tons of people. And, at least that's how it was in 2010 was the last time I was there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's been a while. I have not got to a lot of haunts recently. Because the escape room stuff kept us busy for like 5 or 6 years nonstop. So I'm going to actively try to get to more this year.
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, let me know, man. If you ever want to come down, we'll comp you in for sure.
No, I'll definitely come down.
Yeah, check out the escape rooms once we get, where we want to. I'm hoping we'll have the 2 we're talking about for Halloween. And, would love to have you come down and, be a part of that. We're really excited for it. We haven't made an official announcement. I don't want to go too into detail because, but
so I'm not saying anything at the moment.
Yeah. Well, it's fine. I mean, we've been talking about it. No, you're good. We are having Brian make us escape rooms. It's going to be great. We have designs already in place, and we're talking back and forth. It's going to be cool. So we will have escape rooms here at Blood Prison at the Ohio State Reformatory. So that's going to be cool. We've been trying to do this for so long because we talked to you one other time, and then there was we had building and codes issues, which just like totally, which actually was a blessing in disguise because now we can do them in the building. Before we were going to do it in a mobile unit, which we bought, and then they wouldn't let us. I was just like, what's the you know what I mean? But there was an issue. I don't remember what it was, but again, it's the safety factor is always like, well, look, if we can't use it, we don't want to use it.
Right.
So we kind of had to step back. But now we get to use a part of the building, which is really cool. So I will say that much, that they will be in the building. They'll be handicap accessible because we'll have elevators that go up and down because everyone's like, how do you get up there? Well, we've got an elevator now. Something new about the reformatories. They got these new elevators. They're putting in more. So the tour route will be way more accessible for everybody, not just, handicap, but I mean, anybody that doesn't want to climb the mountain of stairs that we have here.
It'll make bringing all the stuff easier.
Absolutely.
I don't want to climb up all those stairs.
Oh man, yeah, that'll be fun. But yeah, I can't wait for that, man. And I'm glad you're on board, and thank you for helping us out with that. That's going to be really cool. I'm going to go ahead and say that we're going to do a Shawshank theme one as well. That's down the road, but that's going to be kind of cool for the building because Shawshank Redemption, of course. But yeah, man, it's like, it's great having you on board. I've loved everything you've done so far. That's why we were like, dude, let's do it.
Thanks.
Let's do it. Yeah. The Akron Schoolhouse ones that we went to, we didn't escape the jail one. That one, like, we were about, if we'd have had maybe, that's the saying, if we had about 5 to 10 more minutes, we would have got out. If it was an hour and 15-minute escape room, we would have conquered it. We
should have just added more minutes.
But what was the other one? The
witch's cabin.
The witches, yeah. We were almost there.
Yeah.
And time ran out right at the last second. We were 10 seconds away from beating it.
You got to the last room.
We did, yes.
You got the cool reveal.
Absolutely, yeah. And it was funny because in the jail cell one, was it 13th, cell 13 or whatever? Is that what you call it? Cell block what?
E.
Cell block E.
For Evilusions.
Well, I'm thinking 13. Somebody did a thing here called 13th, something gotcha. 13. I got it mixed up. But either way, there was the one from, I think the one cell to the control room or whatever. You had to crawl through that one area. So I had like the executive director, Paul, was with us and he was on the show. He's like, oh, we got to crawl. Oh my gosh. And he starts crawling. I like, because right when it opened, I saw the door, boop. And I was just like, I opened the door and I walked through and he's crawling through and I'm just standing there. He's like, what the hell? So I love those little tricks, So
you could crawl.
Yeah.
I had it originally set up so that, if there was a handicap accessible or something like that, like the door could be remotely opened.
Right.
And
it was cool. It was cool. It was fun that we did that, but it was, everything in that was just like, I'm useless in escape rooms, but everything was just so well done. You know what I mean? But like when I go in, all I'm good for is finding stuff.
Yeah.
That's it. I'll find where things are hidden, but when you get to the puzzles and I'm like, you know what, just leave me out.
See, that's the thing. Escape rooms need a good combination of people.
Yeah.
You need the guy that's finding the stuff. You need the person that's, getting under things to find things. You need the good person at puzzles.
Yeah.
The person that thinks outside the box to connect things that other people can't connect.
Right.
So you kind of need a good mix of that. So you're still useful.
Yeah, you're right.
Like
yeah. Thank you.
The first escape room I ever played, we had a friend of mine in there who was basically really useless at it.
Yeah.
And it was one of those escape rooms that had the zombie where his chain got a little longer every few
Oh,
minutes.
yes. I played one like that. Yeah.
His only job was to distract the zombie.
Yeah.
Everything else was pointless.
That's funny. Yeah, we did one like that too, where it was like you had to, or you had to sing to the zombie or some shit. And I was just like, I'm not going to sing,
I don't design weird things like that in. Like, I try to be realistic as much as possible.
It was fun, but it was like, I could, like, from a running it standpoint, I could be like, now we got to make sure we got to have someone here to run the game. Now we got to have an actor in here. Yeah. I would think that would make it kind of hard, but I think that was like the early on.
That was like 2015, 16 when escape rooms had just started getting into the country.
It seemed like escape rooms were so hot and then kind of lulled a little bit, but it seems like they're really kicking back into gear again.
That is one industry that COVID killed really hard.
Yeah.
Because, it's in person, you're locked in a room. You're not locked, but you're closed in a room in close proximity to people, and a lot of people weren't allowed to open for multiple years. So that may be unpopular, but that industry needed kind of a culling anyways.
Yeah,
because there were still people trying to open attractions like it was 2015.
Yeah.
Oh, I can open an escape room for $1,000.
Right.
No, not anymore, and. So that whole situation kind of closed down a lot of the lower quality ones.
Yeah.
And then, left room for the people with the budgets and other things going on at the same time to then flourish a little more.
Yeah.
So in actuality, we're starting to get even better escape rooms now.
Yeah.
After that whole situation.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, I'm excited for the ones we're doing. And I know they're going to be great. But that was, that was one of the things like with COVID, we still ran, but a lot of people didn't quite understand, because, Walmart was still open, Myers,
right.
I'm not trying to call them out, but like stores were still open because, people have to get food and go grocery shopping and all that stuff. So everyone says, well, we were all affected. Yeah, we were, but like guys like you and I, like it affected me big time. We were like, oh my gosh, especially at Creature Core. We were just like, I hope we can make it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because what people don't understand is, well, and then someone said this to me. I kind of got in an argument with somebody who's like, well, you're just entertainment. And I'm like, okay, yeah, we're not a hospital. We're not, but you got to understand that when you rely on crowds of people to make your living, to do what you do, that affects you. And here's the thing. You can say, it's just entertainment, but look at how a lot of people how it affected them mentally from being locked down, which I wasn't locked down. I didn't give a shit. I still left my house. Oh, they tried to impose that curfew thing. I ain't doing it. You ain't doing it to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But a lot of people were affected because it's like when you shut somebody in, and that's where the entertainment comes from. Right. That live entertainment helps people because it gets them out and it takes them away. Like that's the main things I love about escape rooms and haunted attractions. It takes you out of the world that you're in, that you need that hour of just fantasy.
Right.
It's good for your mental health. And when that whole COVID situation happened, a lot of people now, it has affected them, and it's a sad situation.
It's definitely an increase in depression and everything because they say entertainment isn't necessary, but for your mental well-being, it
absolutely
really
is. Absolutely. Even, entertainment's been a part of everything from the history of humans, all the way. In biblical times, if you will, whenever there was always some form of entertainment, whether back then it might have been a little more grotesque and demoralizing to certain people. But it was still there.
Or it was a guy singing in a bar or
anything. And it's or just going to a bar to meet with people. That does have an effect on people. And that's one thing that, people try to bait me into like the whole COVID thing. I'm like, look, what I hated about it most is the fact that people were divided. And that we couldn't do like what we wanted to do. And it's so funny that now, there's a lot of things that have shown that, none of that stuff mattered that they made us do. You know what I mean? It didn't even matter now. Everyone, the main people are saying, yeah, well, that's fine. But it's like when it comes to somebody's mental well-being, that affects people. And if entertainment can help that, there's still got to be a form of it in some way, shape or form, but to keep it moving forward. And that's why I love what I do personally, and like, what you do. It's, I think, very helpful, for people, especially.
It's necessary.
It absolutely is. There's so many people here that have come and worked with us. Like, there's been people even last year when we would call for actors and they would come in, we'd be like, yeah, that one's not going to make it. But they did, because they found that thing that helped them come out of their shell a little bit and be able to do things in front of people. Yeah. So it does help in more ways than one, from entertaining people to the entertainers.
Yeah.
So
that was always something to watch with. We'd have a haunt. Like, I don't do anything with the actors, but I watched cast managers, just open these kids up to things they never even thought they were capable of doing.
Absolutely.
And then, that was the hardest part when we shut down our haunt, was like, we crushed all of these kids because they're like, we don't have an outlet anymore. We don't have a way to express ourselves anymore.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a huge thing. Whole generations of kids actually get to express themselves.
Yeah.
Just by going to act at a haunted house.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was with, like, you, I never acted in a haunt. I would always do like the media end or the marketing type of stuff. Like, I used to work in radio, so I would do that end of it. I would make the radio commercials for our shows, and then, I would make the deals. And then during the event, I would be in the ticket booth, or I would do walkthroughs and just, check on people, stuff like that. But mostly just handle social media, stuff like that. So I wasn't in the acting. But last year I jumped in. I said, yeah, I'm going to do it. Now I would control like the Gorgalore puppets. I love doing that. I had so much fun doing those. And we had these werewolf puppets that we did. And I would love doing those because I was behind the scenes, and, I could just go back, and it was just kind of fun. I would do that every once in a while, but that's not really acting. But I did last year. I said, the hell with it. I want to get in one day and try it out. I had a blast. I had so much fun doing that. Now, granted, I only did it one night. It was the last night of the season. I just wore a latex half mask and a jumpsuit. And I, since I'm the boss, I get a little more freedom. So I didn't confine myself to a scene. I roamed and did the whole, but I had a blast doing it. And, that's what I tell everybody. Like, dude, you can have fun. It's still work.
Yeah.
But it's fun, and you can kind of, find a new part of you that might not have been there.
I'm not extroverted enough to be able to act. I can't let go. I can't do things in front of people. You know
what? When I put the mask, like, they were going to do a makeup on me. Like, what do you want in makeup? And I was like, now that I'm here and I'm ready, I don't want makeup. Just give me a mask. Well, put the mask on, and it was better for me because I felt covered.
Yeah.
It was like, they don't know it's me.
It's not you anymore.
Yeah.
It's somebody else completely.
Yeah. I was a big pussy about it, though. I mean, the next day I was like, dude, my ass cheeks were just, oh my God. Because I kept squatting down and hide behind stuff. And, I'm not, not exactly a workout buff, but I was hurting.
A lot of muscles you weren't used to using.
Oh man.
Probably.
Yeah. Not since, back in the day,
right.
But I did have fun, and I learned. I was like, well, I got to do it different. You know what I mean? But man, it was such a good time, and I'm definitely doing it again this year. A lot of the actors, you gonna act in? Like, oh yeah, Sundays, I'm gonna do it. As long as there's not a crisis going on. Because I had a good time, and it was just fun. And again, it brought me out even a little bit more, like to the point where I was like, I want to do this again.
Yeah,
this is a good time.
So like, I go to a haunt, I'm like, all right, I got my headlamp. Can I go fix some things for you?
Yeah, right.
Just let me run around. I'll reprogram some controllers for you.
You could be the undead tech janitor guy. We'll put a headlamp on you, and you can have a tool belt.
I don't want anyone to see me.
All right, man.
I literally thought about guest teching. Like, hey, I'm just gonna show up to your haunt. I'm just gonna fix a bunch of stuff you didn't even know was broken yet.
Yeah. When did that start working? Well, Brian was here guest teching. Anytime you want to guest tech, Brian, you let me know. You can come down. All right, man. Well, listen, good having you on the show, man. Thank you for doing this. I can't wait. So you are vending at Transworld this year?
Yeah, 2024.
2024? Are you is it Evilusions?
Yeah.
All right. Evilusions at Transworld 2024. That's going to be great. Can't wait to see all the Katie Lane bodies everywhere. And it'll be great. But dude, thanks for coming down. Love to do it again sometime. We'll update everybody on the escape rooms as we progress with them. So thanks again for doing that. And yeah, man, be careful going home. We'll see you next time.
Appreciate it.
All right, Brian.